We've seen these characters before. The same tropes, similar themes, identical structures. We've met the hard-boiled ex-cop, the lone cowboy with a deadly aim and a heart of gold, the femme fatale with a past she can't get away from, and the eccentric inventor who can figure anything out but other people. You've heard these stories to the point of becoming cliché, so how do we keep them interesting? You stick them on an old fishing ship and let it blend together in the endless void of space.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody.
The overlap is reinforced, the dissonance is that much more cutting, and the end result is something familiar but all its own. Cowboy Bebop fused together different perspectives and styles in a way that is truly unique 20-odd-some years later. The situations and characters we meet along the way are each grounded by our cast of main characters. The cast each have distinct personalities that have, in part, made them such iconic characters. This video will take an in-depth look at our characters' choices, experiences, and perspectives to develop a better understanding of their personalities. I will be using terms popularized throughout the video by the Myers-briggs test. This system is inherently flawed, created by problematic people and used problematically today. Where I tend to focus on Jungian cognitive functions in my analysis, Myers-briggs typings are useful in their accessibility and simplification of the intricacies of personality. These are by no means law. They do create a shared terminology that is easy to open discussion to. It is important to keep the limitations of the Myers-briggs test in mind and why my focus is on cognitive functions. I hope to find how a character's personality makes them better characters and what specific details make them so remarkable. I find that using cognitive functions and personality types as a lens for art opens new doors for interpretation. It gives us a tool to better empathize with characters. We can gain a better understanding of them, others, and even ourselves by observing art with this lens. Or just simply a new way to enjoy art. It's fun. If you have not delved into Cowboy Bebop and want a fresh viewing, this is a spoiler warning. I'll be getting into every plot thread of this show for the most part. Faye Valentine, our femme fatale character trapped in an unfamiliar future, medical debt 3 times worse than the average American, and no inkling of who she was in the past. How is she ever going to survive such a ruthless future of horrific new technologies, all-powerful crime syndicates, and the sheer challenge of surviving the void of space?
First rule of combat?
Huh?
Shoot them before they shoot you.
Myers-briggs, if you do not know, can be broken into 8 Jungian cognitive functions. 4 observing functions, how we see the world, and 4 decision-making functions, how we make choices. Personalities typically manifest one of these functions more than the others, our dominant function, and have a strong secondary function, our auxiliary function. Got it? Okay, great. With any dominant function, it's the most defining tool a character has to navigate the world. With Faye, it seems to be what the biggest payout is.
There are no weapons online!
That missile will hit Ganymede before I have a chance to recharge!
Hey there, having a little trouble?
Huh?
I can bail you out for 80%.
Good work and no reward. For tough guys, you sure complain a lot. Now, don't take it so hard, boys. We'll make some big bucks on the next one.
I say we keep it, definitely. It's worth a lot more than those hoods. Their rewards are chump change.
Hey, how much is it worth if we try to sell it?
She is comically self-centered, which is often played for laughs, eating any scrap of food on the ship that she can get her hands on.
What's wrong?
It hurts. I got a pain.
This a joke. These rations expired a year ago.
Really? Delicious.
Well, since there's nothing I can do about it, I'll be off. Take care.
She was always a direct, shoot-first, ask-questions-later person.
Clean me out. All but this one chip. Think I'll keep it as a souvenir.
Hey, wait! Hey! Come back here!
Yeah, I'm sure it was a purple penguin.
No one said 2 of them. Wait a minute. It might be a real delivery service. We've got to figure out if they're legit or not.
That's easy. We just shoot and see who hightails it out of there.
Faye leads her life by extroverted logic. Her ability to make straightforward decisions based on what's around her. What makes the most money? Let's do that. Hey, I'm starving. There's some food that isn't mine. Sounds good to me. I need something. I'm gonna go get it. This plays into her most reoccurring move as a character, to run away. Yes, every character makes unannounced departures from the Bebop, but Faye is famous for it.
A collection for the Life Extension Agency? Or else... No, could it be... Oh, there's just too many people who want a piece of me. Time for Faye's famous disappearing act.
This is for several reasons. Put simply, this is a manifestation of extroverted logic. If she can't possibly deal with a situation, she just leaves it.
What do you get by running away? Listen, Miss Valentine, please.
I can't pay $300 million. It's not fair to revive me and then expect me to pay all that money.
Clean, straightforward logic. But there is more at play here.
When I'm dealing with them, I swear it's nothing but trouble. And I get nothing out of it. So it doesn't matter if I'm there or not, right?
You were just afraid they'd abandon you. So you abandoned them. You distanced yourself from the whole thing.
You're a strange one, aren't you?
She claims the more logical path, but Gren claims maybe it's abandonment issues. This brings us to her auxiliary function. She holds appearances in high regards.
Madam, excuse
I will give me a key.
She's adept in deception and combat.
Bye.
Don't let her go. Fire!
Well, you might say that. A certain kind of action.
I'm all yours.
Put your hands up. Okay, here we go.
And a strong desire to feel a sense of belonging, even though she has amnesia.
I want to know the truth.
Tell me, who am I? Tell me where the lies end and the truth begins.
Edward, I finally remember where it is that I belong.
You belong.
Yes, Ed. You have someone waiting for you, too. There's somewhere that you belong, Edward. You should go and find out where. It's the best. Belonging is the very best thing there is.
My memory finally came back. But nothing good came of it. There was no place for me to return to. This was the only place I could go. And now you're leaving, just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
This is a manifestation of auxiliary introverted sensing. Sensing the world as remembered details, muscle memory, and longing for the past and familiar. Although her styles and abilities in combat could be extroverted sensing, I don't believe this to be the case. She rarely goes out to try new things, or have new experiences, or feel new sensations, which are hallmarks of extroverted sensing. I also considered her desire to belong, her obsession with her past as introverted feeling, perhaps, the desire for an authentic self. This was also dismissed because introverted feeling is also a desire for inward morality, which she comically lacks. Introverted sensing best describes her auxiliary function to a T. She does what's familiar, and has the attention to detail and muscle memory which are expressions of introverted sensing. Under Myers-briggs, she is an ESTJ, led by straightforward logic and remembered details. It becomes so much more crushing when you consider her introverted sensing and amnesia. She is not only missing her memories in the show, but an entire portion of her being.
Now a big cheer from my heart. Let's go. Be all right. Do your best. Do your best. Don't lose
She wants nothing more than to belong, but doesn't even know what that is. When she finds her past, she learns it's gone.
My memory finally came back. But nothing good came of it. There was no place for me to return to. This was the only place I could go. And now you're leaving, just like that. Why do you have to go? Where are you going? What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
After the whole journey, she realizes that where she belonged was in the Bebop the whole time. And she lost that too. The leader of the Bebop, Jet, the black dog, running rock, ex-cop turned bounty hunter / ship cook, is all but the polar opposite to Faye.
Hey, I'm talking to you!
The shower's broken. We've only got cold water. And the faucet fell off.
Well, if you know about it, then why don't you fix it?
I'm busy right now.
You can do that anytime. He's busy right now.
Looking at Jet
Bye.
and his various calls and thoughts aboard the ship, he is initially a bit harder to pin down. Jet being the oldest member of the Bebop, yes, I know Faye is technically older, it is possible that this is an expression of how older individuals have more well-rounded cognitive functions. The key thing to remember is that every single person has the ability to express and tap into all 8 cognitive functions. People have a tendency to favor a few over the others. All personality types are just explaining that preference. With Jet in the beginning of the show, it seems that he would be led by extroverted logic, like Faye. Straightforward logic, do what works. When they're broke, take on a mission. He's a stick-to-the-plan type. In Pieces of Reflection, though, we learn, although logical, it's not driving Jet as a character. He has a strong sense of honor, no shortcuts, and no backing down.
Betrayal may come easily to women, but men live by iron codes of honor.
You believe that?
I'm trying to, real hard. Humans were meant to work and sweat to earn a living. Those that try to get rich quick, or live at the expense of others, all get divine retribution somewhere along the line.
You brought it on yourself, partner. You just couldn't play the game like everybody else. But people who go against the Syndicate lose, Jet. They lose big. Either they give up like you did, or they die young. This is the real world. There's no place for pretty ideals.
There is often times where he forgoes big payouts in favor of different routes.
You're insane!
Okay, bye-bye now.
All right, 40%, that's my last offer!
Okay, I get the 60.
Deal! Just do it! What are you bringing in?
Nothing. Hurry up and get inside. We're taking off.
You just have to worry about us.
What do you want? Money? Is that it? Come on, say it. What's your price to keep from leaking this thing to the press?
Just leave the old guy alone. Call off the bounty hunters. That's all we ask. You see, Ed would be unhappy if she lost her favorite chess partner, and we wouldn't want that to happen, now would we?
When he does settle down to achieve something, even if it defies logic, he follows through.
The guy they called the Black Dog because once you got your teeth into something, you never let go of it.
They dared to call this ship a worthless piece of crap, and they made a complete mess of my hammerhead. Unlike someone else here, I always return what I owe. I'm gonna find out what's on that tape if it kills me.
Yeah, just might. You really think it's worth it?
Oh, no! Let go! Stop! I don't want to go to prison! Wait, let go! Help me, please! Please help me! You gotta... Oh!
This is clearly introverted feeling. He makes decisions in the world based on his own sense of morality, authenticity, and personal emotional state. Introverted feeling is the decision-making function that stems from an individual sense of what is right. The police he worked for turned out to be corrupt, so he left. The happiness and safety of others or a big bounty, the people every time. If you happen to insult his character or make it personal, he's never letting go. Introverted feeling makes Jet the moral compass of the ship. Sure, he complains and moans about taking care of the constant metaphorical and literal wreckage of the Bebop crew, but he does it, no matter what, simply because he lives to a code of honor that he believes in. Now, his auxiliary function is a bit trickier. He has certainly well-developed introverted sensing. He is the ship mechanic, which requires detail work, and has a wide knowledge pool. He has a beloved bonsai collection, which requires very fine attention to detail. Not to mention, he has a wide background of skills, which range from cooking to police work, and is often a well of wisdom knowing the ins and outs of the solar system. What doesn't sell me on him having auxiliary introverted sensing or extroverted sensing is the fact that he's a remarkably unconventional person.
Prophecy.
So Charlie says, only hands can wash hands. If you want to receive, you have to give. Something like that. I wish I could remember the exact words. Anyway, I think Charlie's telling us to just do it. Ha! What do you make of it?
Somehow I don't think Charlie Parker'd be quoting Goethe.
Come on, it's just a dream I had. Lighten up.
Come on, the weapons on that ship are worthless.
This is the way I work. You know that better than anyone, right? Right. You take the left side.
Lard Boy's in the way.
Oh, that's fatty.
Make a move, Jet. The ball's in your court.
Yo, hey, Fatty!
Huh?
Fatty River, long time no see, buddy.
Oh, who'd have guessed if it is a jet black? Well, when the hell did you blow in?
That's why I'm going to assist you through this from here on. This uses the old satellite transmission wave signals for guidance, so it in effect bypasses the mono system.
And another run scores against the Blue Sox. Henderson looks in for the sign.
That's some secret weapon you got.
This is another place where Jet shines. He is not tied down by the familiar or what's worked in the past, following a dream for a lead, an old harpooning boat as a ship, creating friendly conversation as a distraction, using an analog radio to dodge viruses. None of this is by the book or advice given. It was simply connections and possibilities for success that Jet determined. Looking to Jet's reflections of the world, they are often ambiguous, not grounded in the concrete.
You wanted to know what happened to my arm.
Huh?
This is what I paid, yeah, for being too gung-ho and running ahead of the game. You get the point?
I don't.
Uh-huh. Hey, well now, this thing can't really be here, can it? So I can't really be faulted for eating something that's not here. Vicious. Julia. To me, those names sound ominous, like a magic spell that unlocks an old door, a door that should stay closed.
This leads me to believe that the lens which Jet sees the world is extroverted intuition. He sees the world for what it could be, an endless void of possibility. It's the perceiving type that takes in information and draws less than obvious connections to the abstract ideas. Where each character is represented by their respective ship, Jet is represented by his ship, the Hammerhead, and the whole Bebop too.
This ship is my ship, and this arm is my arm. I don't need instructions.
The Bebop is an old fishing ship, not in the slightest intended for bounty hunting, dogfighting, or saving the day. Jet saw the connection that it could be. He doesn't see his arm as a prosthetic or an accident that caused it. He sees his arm as a price he paid for being too gung-ho. He doesn't follow instructions. He does what he believes is right. That means standing against his peers in an interplanetary crime syndicate, walking unarmed to the ex you still love as she opened fires on you, coming to realize that you are the embodiment of justice, for better or worse.
Someone else will be after him tomorrow, and by then you'll be an accomplice.
Stay away!
You still have time, Elisa.
Stop protecting me!
And single-handedly taking on a huge police ship overrun by convicts and a dinky little harpoon fishing ship to avenge his arm.
Hell.
He always lets his crew back on no matter what, and understands when they have to leave.
Spike, can you still fly?
Don't worry about us. Just go. Find what you lost and get it back. Go.
I found Jet to be an INFP, but a well-rounded one with pronounced extroverted logic and introverted sensing. Radical Edward is such a fun character. While tech wizards and mad scientist tropes have existed for a while now, that's where the cliches end with Ed. While other characters are grounded in their genres, Ed cuts right through as this entity of expectation-defying chaos, which is key to what makes Bebop so great. When we are first introduced to Ed, this is played up for laughs.
Hey!
Radical Edward's profile, he's a 7-foot-tall ex-basketball pro, Hindu guru, drag queen alien. Mwah.
Who Ed actually is, a gender-ambiguous feral hacker orphan child prodigy named Edward Wong Ha Papaluv Trovusky IV who wanted to ride the Bebop off the desecrated landscape of the Earth just for fun, is just as ridiculous. Ed is the only child on the ship and brings much-needed levity to the show. She's like enough Robin for 4 different Batmen. Bat people. I don't know. She is much less developed than the rest of the cast of characters, if only for the fact that she's a kid. While a child does not have a strongly developed personality at a young age, dominant cognitive functions often manifest at this early age. Auxiliary functions are also present as the person grows. So with less experience navigating the world, children tend to be more focused on their dominant function than the rest of the functions. Ed is no exception. Ed is a hacker who effortlessly interacts with technology, holding her own even in a world full of adults.
Oh no! That's impossible! There's no one in there!
Not coming for Ed, ooh la la.
Monosystem malfunction. Emergency pilot program engaged.
Now, interacting with technology could be several cognitive functions. It takes familiarity and ability to identify components of sensing, or logics. Either one helps understanding why technology works and how to interact with it. But I don't think that's what's going on here. When we look at how she acts outside of technology, we find a clear trend.
I'm back. So, how'd it go?
They were just regular employee who did his
So what? You did it. You caught every criminal on the whole list. But you didn't pick up any leads or clues? Come on. If you see a stranger, follow him. Huh? You Jet's girlfriend? There's only one of them around. Where are you hiding, Beta? Are you going out? Where are you going, huh?
She asks questions, she gathers information, she explores possibilities. I believe her primary cognitive function is extroverted intuition. Extroverted intuition is the function of exploring possibilities. What is possible instead of what already works. I think the way she hacks is mostly a manifestation of exploring possibilities. I can control this toy. Can I control this car? Can I control the Bebop? When surfing the web, she isn't using background knowledge or paying attention to specific details. She's searching carefree through the internet for whatever she's looking for. Extroverted intuition is what drives her, her dominant function. Asks the questions, piquing curiosity, exploring possibilities. She is logical, but not exactly straightforward. She wants things and gets them, but not always the most straightforward way to get them.
Why are we going down there? What's going on?
Just what did you promise the kid, Faye?
She promised Ed that Ed could become a real member of Bebop. Hey, wait a minute, Ian. We have to share and share alike. Ian? Bad mushroom?
These mushrooms are worth 100,000 each. Let me go, and they all yours.
I don't know.
Me or the shrooms? What's worth more?
I don't know.
What? Are you a total ass? Take the mushrooms!
All right!
Her auxiliary function is introverted logic. She makes decisions based on her own internal logic. What makes sense to her, not necessarily what makes sense in the environment or to other people. She made a deal with a Bebop, so logically they would hold up their end. She observes the Bebop crew on mushrooms and makes internal conclusions that they are bad. She wants money for food, so she takes the mushrooms. Another hallmark of introverted logic is reaching logical conclusions.
I got it! He's gonna blow up City Hall.
You know already?
Targets have been by height, starting with the tallest building.
Really?
I believe this is her extroverted intuition and introverted logic working in tandem. She looks at the possibilities with the external information she has and comes to internal logical conclusions. Although this could also be introverted intuition is the ability to see connection and true meaning behind things, and is often the function that helps us connect the dots and come to less than obvious realizations. I don't think she has introverted intuition as one of her most defining character functions, because she has a hard time making some unseen connections.
What are you doing in here? Jet's gonna have a fit, Edward.
He asked, Dad.
Huh?
Jet's never coming back here.
Not to mention, she doesn't pick up on several situations, like how the Bebop wasn't letting her on initially, or how she's often oblivious to danger. Someone with strong introverted intuition would typically not be as oblivious. It's entirely possible that she's just a child and doesn't pick up on that kind of thing this early. This reveals a few shortcomings of the Myers-briggs test. It could be that her dominant type is extroverted intuition, the ability to explore possibilities, and her auxiliary being introverted intuition, seeing meaning and drawing hidden connections. Only problem is that typing doesn't exist within Myers-briggs. Although I believe her auxiliary function is introverted logic and not introverted intuition, for the reasons listed, I think it's important to understand the pitfalls of using just Myers-briggs. Under Myers-briggs, she does fall under ENTP. Then we've got the space cowboy himself, Spike Spiegel, the smoothest, quickest, calmest bounty hunter to traverse the gates. A man lost in space, his own life, the past, living day to day unsure if alive or dead, looking for something to make him feel alive again. It's hard to pin down what exactly drives him as a character. Is it the thrill of the fight? Is it a long-lost love? Is it another meal? It's difficult to tell at first glance, even second glance. He seems to be led by internal logic more than anything else. He is driven by his own theories and conclusions, making choices based on those conclusions. We see him constantly make logical conclusions that make sense to him, but not
Thanks
as much
for
to
the
others.
help, Victoria Terpscott. Huh? And give your husband my thanks, too. I figured out who you were because of this. Of course, everyone's heard about him. The legendary bounty hunter Terpscott. And wife. Those hacking units weren't designed by some piker. It was an insider who knows precisely how the gate system works. Whoever's behind it is probably connected to the Gate Corporation. That was my take on it. I tried to look into it, but,
You mean a crooked programmer?
Right, yeah. But the guys from the Gate Corporation suddenly became very uncooperative. It was as if they knew what was going on, but they didn't want to talk about it, you know? Food rage. It's a scary thought.
Spike, was it you by any chance?
I wouldn't leave the empty box lying around as evidence.
The tape is messed up.
That isn't helping, Spike.
My ship works better when I kick it.
Right.
Looks like a plain old moon rock to me, you know? One of them is a fake, because I lost it in an accident. Since then, I've been seeing the past in one eye, and the present in the other. So I thought I could only see patches of reality, never the whole picture.
He easily looks at situations and finds top-down understandings. This woman hates bounty hunters and holds more than her own. She's Victoria Terpskade. The Gate Corporation is asking questions. Might be an inside job. I wouldn't have left any evidence. I did not eat the rations. Kicking my ship works. Why wouldn't it work on the beta deck? It looks like an old rock. Why would it be anything else? I might have been dead the whole time. I have to go find out for sure. Although each conclusion is purely logical, they are not straightforward conclusions that would arise from the environment. Spike reaches those conclusions internally. We can see his introverted logic play out in real time throughout the show. He is a hugely adept strategist, able to identify key items and points in any fight and turn the tides.
Much.
30 million wulongs for 50 packs.
15 million wulongs.
I'm in a hurry. I've got other customers.
Show me. Looking for this?
He's able to use his quick thinking to control the dynamics of a battle. Using the Bloody Eye Vials to control his opponent's actions, realizing the virus is in the vessel and using it against the radicals, turning off the gravity on an opponent's suit. As far as his auxiliary function, I would be remiss to not mention that Spike is a masterful fighter. Even if you couldn't care less about the plot or the world building or the characterization, the action scenes hold their own, often with Spike in the center of the conflict. This to me is extroverted sensing, or the ability to see the world as its physical environment, to notice details as they are. Where it could be introverted sensing, remembering details or doing what is familiar, he is often described by following instincts.
How did you do that?
You're tense, I'm calm. You apply excessive force, and I control that force through fluid motion. That means relaxing the whole body so it can react instantly without resistance, without thought. Do you see now?
This solidifies him being extroverted sensing to me. He is a master improviser, able to take in and navigate his environment regardless of what form it takes. This lends light to a character flaw of his arrogant search for a challenge. He is led by his master logic, sharp eyes, and quick hand. As far as Myers-briggs, he falls under ISTP. This makes for a character who is adept at navigating any situation, where Faye's extroverted logic will let her know, well, yeah, if you do dangerous, dumb things, you're gonna get hurt.
I seem to recall you being in this condition before. You're not showing a whole lot of improvement, but not a lot I can do about it, huh?
Thanks for the carry.
Let's face it. You end up like this because you go looking for trouble. It's called bad behavior, but not my problem, huh?
Or Jet's extroverted intuition will warn of possible harm.
Better run some tests on it. An explosives test and a biochemical examination. Nah, I'll just return it to the freight company and tell them I want my money back. I'll say it was a mistake. Whoa! Hold it! Spike! No! Spike!
Spike's functions don't warn him of the danger in the same way. He has the ability to face death constantly. It's not just bravery, but simply that dangers don't occur to him. He is concerned with testing his ideas, letting them play out in action with his introverted logic. Any danger that could hurt him, he'd be able to recognize with his extroverted sensing, and therefore avoid. One of the most iconic parts of his character is his relaxed, careless waltz with life and death. Taking an in-depth look, we find that to him, it isn't life and death at all, just his wits against everything. His entire focus as a person is, how can I outwit, outmaneuver, and outfight the situation? He is so confident and focused with his understanding of battle, death was never really a consequence. And if it was...
What? Are you for real? We can't live
Oh, well.
without them.
Whatever happens, happens.
It would be so easy to wrap it up right now, saying I have it all figured out, but Spike by far has so many inconsistencies with his character. Take the first scene of the entire series. Spike takes on one last job for the Syndicate. He goes on a suicide mission where if he plays his cards right, it would feign his death and he'd be able to escape his life of crime. In the last moments he's about to blow the whole thing up, he smiles. This is so stupidly open-ended, which is a testament to great art, but it's a nightmare to interpret. It could be his introverted logic. He outsmarted everyone. This could be introverted feeling. He was finally free. This could be extroverted sensing, just experiencing the thrill of it all. This could be extroverted feeling. He'd be able to cultivate that life with his love. Each character has different inconsistencies within their behavior, but it's most prominent in Spike. Mention Julia or Vicious, and all bets are off as far as how he'll act. His past is a soft spot that permeates his character. His one love, the need to stop the Syndicate and kill Vicious, his uncertainty if he ever survived that last job. While I still believe his dominant function is introverted logic, and his auxiliary function is still extroverted sensing, Spike still makes choices that defies those functions in favor of lesser expressed ones, like his love for Julia, hate for the Syndicate, and uncertainty with the ambiguous line between life and death. This to me is a continued testament to why the show and its characters are so great. They are complicated, they're inconsistent, and they don't conform to any kind of personality type perfectly. Just like you, like me, like every person to exist. You will be asked to confront parts of yourself you don't agree with. You will make choices that will tear you apart internally. You will live every day an echo of your past choices and current contradicting desires. You will burden over ideas of self, questions and answers, right and wrong, life and death. Like the characters of the show, like you, like me. Like every person to exist. You're gonna carry that weight. Welcome to Processed Grief Product. You can call me PGP for short. We've all been indoctrinated into how to be good internet users, so please do the things. You know which ones. Or don't. I'm looking to do further analysis on various properties, maybe even returning to this one, maybe some original works in the future too. Stay tuned. Keep me company in the comments. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.